Alright, so I decided to make a video with my opinion on the new Fallout and my advice to any other Fallout fans on there who are considering buying the game. The game itself is really similar to Fallout 3, which you've probably seen in any of the other reviews you looked up, if you looked up the IGN one or whatever. It really is the same as Fallout 3 as far as how you play the game. The addition of like the iron sights where you can see down the sights of the gun, that's a pretty huge addition to me anyways, and it was very cool for the first 12 hours that I got to play the game. I bought the game, and 12 hours in, my save slot is bugged now, and all my other saves are now corrupted as well, or corrupted. They're not actually corrupted, it's a bug in the game. Where I can't load them and I can't play, and everybody else I know that's bought it for the Xbox 360 has reached a certain point and had this same issue. So my advice to you is, if you're going to be playing it on a console, wait like another 2 or 3 weeks before you buy the game, because you really won't be able to play it anyways, and you're going to end up being very frustrated, because right now I'm very frustrated. And I'm trying not to post a biased review, but at the same time, I don't really understand how some of these bugs made it through beta testing, if they actually did beta testing. A lot of people are saying, well, they only had 2 years to make the game and this and that, but none of that time was spent developing an engine, because they already had an engine. They didn't really have a whole lot of new features to add, so that really, how much time does that really account for, honestly? And they're supposed to be one of the most talented studios, developers that exists. So I don't really think that that's a worthy excuse. What I think happened was they rushed the product out before it was ready, which it should have been ready in 2 years. That's totally reasonable, given the circumstances. But they released it with the intention of fixing all the bugs with a patch in the first week or 2 weeks, and getting all those early sales beating the hype, because next week what comes out? Fable 3, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Not so much Force Unleashed 2, but Fable 3 is cutting into the same customer base that Fallout has. So by releasing Fallout before Fable 3, they've definitely increased the amount of sales they've get. But from what I've heard, almost 10%, or maybe it was over 10%, of the sales GameStop did between yesterday, the day before, and the day before that for Fallout New Vegas, 10% of those have been returned. And it's been like a big, huge fucking headache for GameStop. But the other thing is, like, when you do finally make it to the Strip in New Vegas, and there's no spoilers in this video, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, even this big, lit up Strip, which we saw in the previews and the trailers, and they showed it at E3 and all this, it feels dead. There's like 5 people, and then you go into a casino and there's like 5 more people. So all in all, there's probably 50 or 40 people on the whole Strip, between like 4 or 5 casinos and a bunch of like gift shops and other buildings. So there's really nobody in the center of this game. The Strip is supposed to be like the showpiece of New Vegas. That's their big selling point. That's what they keep showing you in the trailers. That's what they keep trying to sell you on, is like, this place is not, all of it's not a wasteland. We got this here. But really it feels no different than the wasteland, because the casinos are dark, there's no people in there. There's like 3 games you can play in the casino. I was really disappointed that they didn't have poker. All they've got is blackjack and roulette, which I can code that, and I don't really code. Coding blackjack and roulette, a retard can do. It's really easy. No offense to anybody who is retarded or has a retarded family member. Excuse me. But it's just, there's really not a whole lot of range, and I love Fallout, so I love the gameplay no matter what. I love playing it, I love making choices, I love dialogue, so that's cool with me. not changing anything really, but there's just so many bugs. I mean, I noticed in my 12 hours of gameplay at least 10 bugs an hour. You're going to have things where VATS starts getting really choppy, or when you load a save game, you immediately shoot, and somehow you're continually shooting somebody who's just gave you a quest, because I save right after I get a quest or right before I'm going to pick one up. So I was shooting quest givers on accident, and it was like load after load after load after load. And if you don't install it on your hard drive, if you're one of the console players, you better make a cup of coffee before you play the game, because you're going to be looking at anywhere from 35 seconds, and that's almost at the fastest, to 2 to 3 minutes for a load time for a single zone. So don't count on it being a speed demon. You are going to need a lot of patience if you want to play this game, especially at this current stage. So the gist of what I'm saying is, Fallout fans are not going to be disappointed by the gameplay. You might be disappointed by the lack of changes, but you're not going to be disappointed by the gameplay. You will, however, be not only disappointed but frustrated, and in my case, angry at the level of bugs that are in the game. There's hundreds and hundreds of bugs. The one that I have, and that a lot, if not almost every other Xbox gamer that has this game, is game breaking. I can't play now. There's no way for me to play. I have to load back to an earlier save, and if I save after this earlier save, I can't load that one. So I either have to restart and play the first 8 hours again before getting the bug, or I have to not play. And I don't really want to make a new character and replay the first 8 hours over and over and over. I think it's unfair that Bethesda distributed and Obsidian created a game that is buggier than any open beta I've ever tested, and I've tested probably 15 to 20 games in open beta and some in closed beta. So I don't really understand how this game got put out in this state. I think it's due to laziness on part of Bethesda and Obsidian that they released this without bug testing it. I don't understand how they could have had any number of people test this on an Xbox or a PS3 console and not got the error that most or all of us are getting. I don't understand how it is they could have released, they could have tested it. There's no way. I don't think they really tested the game on the consoles. I think what they did was they had their testers do it on their, their computer machines that they were coding the game on, which of course they're going to be able to finish it on. But I can't even get to the end of the game right now unless I were to do it all in one sitting, which the testers may have done for the Xbox, but it's obvious to me that a lot of, or most of, the features in this game weren't tested because there's just so many bugs. I hate continually saying that, but there really is. There's so many bugs. If I were to give this game a rating as of right now, it would probably sit at like a 5 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10. And the Fallout 3 for me, even with all the expansions and everything, sits at like a 9.8 out of 10. I mean, it's so close to a perfect 10 game, it's ridiculous. But this game is just, these bugs have really just raped me. I mean, I can't even enjoy the game at this point. So if they release a patch in the next couple days, I'll release another video saying it's fixed now and it's good and I think you should buy the game. But as of right now, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend waiting for anybody who's going to play it on a console. On the PC, they're receiving a lot of love. They already got patches on a lot of their major issues, but us console people, which are actually at least equal in size, if not a larger market than the people who are getting it on PC, have not got any love whatsoever. They released an update last night that added an extra bug, so that didn't really help anybody. So yeah, buy the game at your own risk if you buy it. Otherwise, wait a week or two before you buy it. All in all, I think it's probably going to be a good game, but I don't know until the bugs allow me to finish it. And that's really what it comes down to. Alright, signing off.